Hi, welcome back to Rohrich Knose Best Podcast, helping you become a better and more informed you. Well, today we have a special treat. We have a world-renowned Australian dermatologist, Dr. Natasha Cook, who's going to talk to us about everything to protect your skin, the largest organ in the human body. So, Natasha, welcome to Rohrich Knose Podcast. She's a world-renowned pioneering dermatologist. She's a member of both the Australasian College as well as the American Academy of Dermatology. She's really done some innovative work in skincare. And so it's so great to have you with us.
Oh, look, Rod, it's an absolute pleasure. I'm just so excited to share so many fun facts and information in a crazy, confusing world that's driven by, influences over expertise and trends. And we've got to get back to that science and get back to facts over fads, proof over promise. And as experts, who should be more influential in this game. So it's a delight to be invited, and I'm so excited to get started.
That's great. Well, so let's talk about something that certainly is a big thing in both Texas and in Australia. It's the sun.
Yes.
So
yes.
What is all the confusion about SPF, and what are the myths, and can you separate out what's true, what's not?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, I think we both have incredibly high UV exposures, sunny days, and we know the single biggest detrimental external factor when it comes to damaging your skin, producing pigmentation, eating up your collagen, giving you accelerated aging, let alone the risk of skin cancer, is the sun. And so protecting us appropriately from this, significant element is imperative every single day. If you are serious about having smooth, sensational skin that looks better for longer, and a term I've kind of coined to increase your skin span. Right. The SPF industry has gone through a catapultic explosion since kind of Instagram. Everyone's got a brand and celebrity and whatever, but what actually do we need to be concerned about when it comes to wearing SPF?
Right.
And what do we need to know what's true versus maybe not so true? And I think one of the biggest things I've noticed, and we've seen in Australia, some statistics last summer showed that only 2 out of 5 teenagers over the age of 15, because of the influence of social media, are now actually wearing SPF every day, which in a country where melanoma is the biggest killer of human beings, and particularly young adults under 40, and 2 out of 3 Australians get at least one skin cancer in their life. And as a dermatologist, it's quite horrifying. Needless to say, we're all going to be very busy in the future when these people are going to end up getting skin cancer, let alone needing energy-based devices and lasers to fix that damage that's creating. So I think something to dispel is, are sunscreens safe?
Right.
And I think we can say, right, are they safe? And therefore, people are making home remedies and whatnot and slapping it on with zinc and titanium. I mean, it sounds too good to be true. It actually is. Formulation of SPF, having been doing that myself for in excess of 25 years, and I've failed pretty spectacularly, and I've succeeded very well because it's hard, and particularly when you're going to work with mineral agents. So sunscreens to date, statistically, has shown it is safe to wear SPF much more than not wearing SPF. As we know, we just talked about, your sunscreen is the best step that you can invest in if you are serious about preventing pigmentation, halting rosacea, stopping collagen loss. I mean, hello, substitute those supplements for a really good SPF is a far better investment if you want to sustain and have great collagen in your skin, and basically having better looking, healthier, high functioning skin for longer.
What should they look for? SPF 30 and above, and what are the...
Yes, look, SPF 30 and above statistically is enough. Now, the problem is in application, and what we do know is 80% of consumers under apply. And the SPF protection, as you would know, an exponential dose delivery curve. So what that means, if we cut the amount that we're meant to put on that's tested in the lab by half, we're going to get a quarter of the SPF protection that's advertised on that jar. Okay. So in knowing that, would I tell people to wear SPF 50 over 30? Because if we've got that little bit extra in there, now it's only covering an extra 2% of UVA protection from 30 to 50. But if we start higher, and we know consumers tend to under apply, are we potentially going to get better protection? Yes. And that's also why I don't believe, I know this is a question you've got coming up for me, that you should rely on your makeup for your SPF protection, because how are we taught to put makeup on little bits, rubbing around? You need to have a dedicated SPF product beyond just makeup, and then you can put your makeup under the top. Now, coming on to safety, and what we also need to look for in SPF, and something that is about to, it just broke in the press here this morning, Dr. Rod, while I was getting podcast ready. It's coming out that the TGA, which is the equivalent of your guys' FDA, I know the FDA is going through massive intrinsic re-regulating what active ingredients in the SPF. Right. It's really going to be, it's just going to catapult into like monumental change across the whole industry and the whole planet. It's just been released that the TGA here has reviewed some data. Now, they are animal studies only, and they are using very, very high doses of certain chemical SPF agents for very long periods of time, more than what we have available to buy today. But there is some concern that potentially certain chemical protective agents that are sunscreen protectors may be at risk of causing internal hormonal dysregulation. And there are three key ingredients that have been studied. One is oxybenzone, 2 homosalate, and the third one is benzophenone, which can be a byproduct after UV hits the SPF ingredients and then breaks down and is disposed of in your skin.
How often are these ingredients in normal sunscreen?
Extraordinarily
both
common.
In Australia and the US?
Yeah, Australia, US, EU. EU is already changing regulations to say maybe these ingredients need to reformulate lower doses. Now, I don't want to create hysteria because to date, the safety profiling of wearing this versus not is still better. However, something I've been passionate about, because believe it or not, Dr. Rod, I am published in allergic photoreactive contact dermatitis reactions to sunscreens. Really? In my undergraduate years, we had to publish before we could get our certification as a board certified dermatologist. And I worked with the formidable Susie Freeman in the photo contact lab at the Skin and Cancer Foundation here in Australia. And every single allergic reaction, even though they're very rare, I don't want to create hysteria, they're extremely rare, but all the allergic reactions came down to the chemical blocking agents. And the mineral blocking agents, zinc and titanium, are inert substances that do not create reactions. Hence, as a dermatologist, my passion was to formulate mineral-only SPFs, which are more expensive and a lot harder. Right. And as a little intel here, you can tell that I'm really passionate. I've been doing this for 20-something years. Yes, I am a true skin nerd. The topography of our skin is mountains and valleys, right? And so mineral agents sink in the valleys. So it's not just a matter of adding extra zinc or extra titanium to boost the SPF. It can actually go the opposite way. The vehicle or the base of the substance is equally as important as the type of zinc and the percentage, et cetera. So you sustain a beautiful, even protective film on your skin. So in summary, all SPF to date is being proven to be safe and far better to invest in wearing it every single day for all skin types.
So how
we are now doing some research to show that maybe some SPFs are safer and better than others. If you have the opportunity, I personally believe that investing in mineral SPF over chemical, particularly sensitive skin, is probably the better choice.
Yep. So let's take it home for our viewers now.
Yes.
Number one, okay, so obviously SPF 30 or greater, how often should they apply it? And of course, use mineral over the others is preferred. And
yes.
And lastly, none truly are waterproof, correct?
They're water resistant. So sweat, exercise, toweling your face, rubbing with fabrics, and obviously then going into the ocean or a pool does remove the SPF slowly over time. So I just have a two rule, 2 fingers for face, every 2 hours applications, and 2 layers before you walk out the door. And if we stick to that, people are more likely to get the right dosage on their skin and not under apply and be more secure in their application techniques, because when it comes to SPF, application is everything. You can have an amazing formulation. If you don't put enough right on your skin, you're just not going to get that safe protection that you and your skin deserves.
Okay, I love that. The 2 layers.
Yeah, the 2 layers, the 2 rules. I think I'm going to do a campaign about the V sign, the 2, the V, twice, and before you go out the door every single day. And that's easy for people to remember because there's so much confusion.
I know in the US, we God, we don't usually talk about applying it every 2 hours and 2 layers. That's really great, especially in sun-intense areas like Texas and in Australia. So I think that's a great,
Exactly.
That's a great home rule.
And just a little quirky, like nerdy scientific. Do you know in the 1990s in Australia, it took about 9 minutes to burn, and within a decade, it's dropped to about 4 minutes. So if we're not heightened enough about global warming and the environmental damage and the extra need to be really protecting with your skin, I think they're pretty impressive statistics.
And so, okay, now then it comes down to the mineral-based, obviously the ones that you really prefer versus the other ones, which are the spray. Are the sprays not as powerful as the
don't get me started, Dr. Rod.
Yep,
the spray.
Well, we're just wanting to get everybody's snapshot.
Okay, so if you feel like you're wearing nothing at all, and that's why people like sprays, you kind of are wearing nothing at all.
So no sprays.
The lab, no sprays.
No sprays.
They blow off in the wind. You've got to do 10 to 15 applications to potentially get the protection that's advertised on the jar. Consumer misadventure with applicate. No, it's just, it's a big no. It's a no.
No
lotions and creams, you can see what you're doing. Remember, application is everything. So spray-ons and powders are really not your best friend when it comes to SPF.
Well, that's awesome. That's great. That's great stuff to know. So basically, the 2-layer technique, apply every 2 hours. No spray, no sprays, lotions and creams, mineral-based preferred. Okay. And of course, there's pending studies, and we've had the same thing in the U.S. about whether these may be carcinogenic or not, and I think it's evolving. I don't know if there's not.
And Reef Safe, what's Reef Safe Australia just last week? A ton of very popular brands that are also sold in the US have been castigated by regulators for claiming reef safe when they're not. So this is a really transitional, interesting, dynamic time in the whole SPF industry as alone. And as doctors, I think we have to get educated on it to make sure that we're giving the consumers the best advice.
Good. And then last question I've had multiple times from some of my consumers is that how often, and not only how often, but, let's just say I've got some spray or some cream and it's old. When does it go out of date? What is the
fantastic question. Well, sunscreens in this country are treated like they're medicines/drugs. So as a result, stability is really important, and you have to have an expiry date. And also you need to be careful. You don't leave them in the hot car.
Okay.
Because they break sunscreens down, and you don't want the sunscreen in itself exposed to UV light, because that can break it down as well and make it less effective. So check the expiration date, right? Because sunscreens do expire.
Okay.
Make sure the product, when it comes out of the tube, hasn't separated or looks a bit odd, okay? Because that might be the fact that it's not going to give you the protection. And keep them in cool, dark, nice places. Obviously, if you're at the beach for a limited period of time and you've got your SPF in your beach bag, etc., that's okay. I mean, we don't need to get status anxiety about all of this, but we do need to practice safe application and safe choices, and be quite discerning about our SPFs and check those expiration dates.
Awesome. Wise words from an amazing dermatologist.
Thank you.
Look at your skin.
Thank you.
It's amazing. So 2 layers, 2 hours. Definitely no sprays, creams, check the expiration date. All these things are invaluable. Let us know your comments and thoughts and any questions you may have for Dr. Cook, and we'll address them obviously in our other social media. So again, Dr. Cook, thank you so much for taking the time.
It's a pleasure, and I will keep you updated, because Australia probably is the world leader when it comes to this, because, as I said, the high incidence of skin cancer, we have the worst UV levels every single day. Like winter is like a summer in other countries here. So our research and regulations that are happening, I think, will be world leaders.
That's great. Well,
and I'll keep you updated.
We love Australia. There's so much like Texas.
We love Texas. We love America.
Well, thank you so much. Until next time. Stay sun, stay safe.